Hello everyone, my name is Fabiana and I'm here today to talk a little bit about the book 1984 by George Orwell. First of all, for those who have never read or have never heard about this book, it is important to say that 1984 was actually written in 1949. So, as you can imagine, this book gives you an idea of the future, which is a very bad idea because it paints an image of the future where the citizens are ruled by the party, which is a very authoritarian and repressive power. And it gives you the idea that in this image of the future, in this idea of the future, people are not exactly living their lives. They're like being watched all the time by a totally conservative power. And it is a very sad image of the future. That's why we can kind of define this book as a dystopia, which is like an utopia but very, very bad because it gives you an idea of the future where things are very bad in terms of politics and the system and all of that. So, to talk a little bit about the story, it happens in a place called Oceania, which is which is one of the many new states and divisions of the world territory. And this particular place, Oceania, is always in war with other states. But this war, there are no evidences that this war is actually real. But anyway, Oceania is run by the party, and as I said, it's a totally authoritarian power. And they use the face of this man called Emmanuel Goldstein as a huge face in posters and buildings, and that's the idea they call the Big Brother, because in Oceania citizens feel like they're being watched all the time because there is all this stuff of the Big Brother, and everyone has a telescreen in their home. And a telescreen is something like a television, but it's also like a camera, because through the telescreen the citizens can watch pronunciations by the members of the party, and at the same time they can be watched in their homes. So they live their lives being watched all the time, and that is an important question in this book because it is something that is constructed in mind control and surveillance. It is a whole system of government that works within the minds of the citizens in this surveillance stuff. They feel like they're being watched all the time, and there is like the love police, the thought police, and it's like a repression that is put all the time in the minds of the citizens in a surveillance that is run by the party for all the citizens. Is something very scary and very weird and very sad. So the main character of the book is called Winston Smith, and basically we can say that he is the one person that will try to find people and situations and evidences so that he can break out of that system. And I won't tell the rest because there will be a spoiler, but it is a highly recommended book for everyone who likes to think about society and politics and how we are related to one another in a society. And it is also nice to say that 1984 became a huge world reference since it was published, because by that time it was published, something like 1950, people actually used to believe that in 1984 the world would be like that. People would act like that in the government. There is also one movie that I really love called Almost Famous by Cameron Crowe, and in one scene of the movie one of the characters look to another and say something like that, from like 9 years from now it would be 1984. Think about that. So it became a world reference, and many people say that George Orwell kind of predicted the future, because in 1984 and many years after that we'll still have some things happening just like in that political system that the book shows us. So many people actually believe that he predicted something that would happen to society. But I like to think that we should see literature and arts and all those stuffs as ways to spread thoughts. And thinking about that, we can maybe consider that maybe George Orwell kinda spread that thought through society. And that's another theory, but it is just important to say that it became a huge word reference. And to finish, it is a highly recommended book to everyone, okay?